Welcome to CrashMagic. Today we're going to look at the card trick called Frank Squires Speller. Now this trick is accredited to a magician called Lloyd Jones, and he was an American magician. He was born in California and he lived between 1906 and 1984. He was also a pharmacist, a book dealer and a publisher. Now I've no idea why this trick is actually called Frank Squires Speller, so if you know then let me know and leave it in the comments below. Let's have a look at the performance. Let's try something then with this pack of cards. Right, I'm going to get you to choose a card. We don't need to use the whole pack though, so let's just take a bunch out. Yeah, that seems enough. So if you can take those. And like I say, if you can choose a card, and it's up to you how you want to do that. If you want, you can keep them face down and you can just mix them up and choose one randomly, or if you want you can turn them over and have a look at them and choose a card that way. You're just going to mix them up and choose one. Okay, you're going to go for that one. Let's get these ones out of your way then, because we don't need these now. So if you could have a look at your card and remember it. And then if you could place it back into the pack. So I will riffle down at any point. If you just shout stop. Perfect. If you could pop your card back in. So your card is now somewhere in the middle of this pack. So let's see if we can find it, and the way we're going to do that is I'm going to ask you some questions. So first of all, was yours a red or a black card? A red card, okay. R-E-D. And next, what suit was your card? Oh, it was a diamond. D-I-A-M-O-N-D. And next, was it odd or even? So obviously if it's a number card, that's easy. Is it odd or even? If it's a picture card, so 10 is even, so Jack would be odd, Queen would be even, and King would be odd. Well, yours was odd, was it? O-D-D. And would you say your card was a high card or a low card? High. H-I-G-H. And finally, you've told me it was a diamond. What was the value of your card? Oh, it was a king. K-I-N-G. So your card was the King of Diamonds. Well, I hope you enjoyed that performance of Frank Squires Speller trick. And here's how you can do it. There's a little bit of setup involved. So you can do this with a number of different cards and you can work out your own cards, but I'll show you how I did it in the performance. I used 10 cards here and I'll read out the ones that I used. I used the 3 of spades, 4 of spades, 9 of spades, 10 of spades, Jack of spades, King of spades, 8 of hearts, Queen of hearts, 7 of clubs and the King of diamonds. So there's 10 cards there. And what you need to do is put this little pack of cards, if this is the top of your deck here, then the way I do it is I tend to put a key card here, 20 cards down. So in this case I'm going to use the Ace of Spades. Obviously you can use anything. It's just a key card so you know that that's the 20th position, and you'll see why in a bit. Then I put this set stock of cards in that position and then the rest of the pack underneath, and you're ready to start. That's the only setup. So the way I'd normally do this is spread all the cards out face up, and of course in that way you're showing the spectator that there is seemingly no setup because the cards are well mixed. And that's actually something else to remember actually. I've just put these cards in here exactly as they were, the 10 cards. But because you've got a lot of spades here together, what I would normally do is mix these up a bit. So let's do that actually. So obviously split the blacks and the reds up a little bit. Probably make a note as well of which your first and your last card is, so that when you spread them out on the table to show the spectator, now obviously it's a better mix of red and blacks, and also you can immediately spot there's the ace of spades, here's my group of 10, and here's my end card. So what I'd say is, right, I'm going to get you to pick a card, and I'll say let's just pick a bunch of cards out, and I would immediately go for those 10 cards and pick them out. You don't need to make a big thing of saying, oh look, there's 10 cards. You can just grab that bunch of cards out then. So you give those to the spectator and say to them that they need to pick a card from here, and it doesn't matter if they mix these cards, that makes no difference. They can, as I did in the performance, they can choose one of these cards face down if they like, so it's a random choice for them, or they can look at them and pick the one that they prefer. But however they do it, they just need to pick one of the cards. So this time we'll say they pick the 7 of clubs. Obviously they would not show the magician that, they would keep that secret. And so once they've picked their one card, we would take the rest of the cards back and put them on the bottom, and then we hold a finger break under that ace of spades. So if we just go back a step, there's the rest of their cards. These cards would still be spread out on the table with the gap where we took the 10 cards. So while they're picking their card, I would pick these up holding the break between the ace of spades and the bottom of the pack. Once they'd selected their card, I'd then take the cards that they didn't select and put them on the bottom. So we've still got the break here just underneath the ace of spades, which is in the 20th position down. I'm sure you noticed then, if you watch my my video on card forces, I then did a riffle force basically. Obviously I'm not forcing a card, but what I did was I riffled down and asked them to say stop, and then I lift at the break. So rather than forcing a card on them, I'm then forcing the position that they put their card back into the pack. So riffle down, wait till they say stop, and say, yeah, if you could put your card back in there please. So let me just remember, 7 of clubs, that goes back into there, and we put the pack on top, and so their card is now seemingly lost in the middle of the pack. Now what we then do is go through and ask them a series of questions, and the way those stock 10 cards were designed, that whatever answers or whichever card they pick, the answers to those questions will always give the same amount of resulting letters. So let's go through it. First we say to them, did you pick a red or black card? 7 of clubs, of course they picked a black card, B-L-A-C-K. We then asked them what the suit was, and it was clubs. Now whether it's clubs, hearts, diamonds or spades, when you spell this you don't use the S on the end. So club, C-L-U-B. We then say, was it an odd or even card? And again explain to them that if it was a picture card, 10 is even, so Jack is odd, Queen is even, and King is odd. Obviously in this case it was 7, so it's clearly an odd, O-D-D. So then you'd say to them, well, was your card a high card or a low card? And for the purpose of this we'll say 7 and above is high, and anything under 7 is low. So was yours high or low? Of course they'll say high, H-I-G-H. And then you say to them, so you told me your card was a club, but what actually was the value of your card? So they of course in this case will tell you it was a 7, S-E-V-E-N. And then you can say to them, oh, so your card was the 7 of clubs. And you can reveal that that's the card that you've spelled your way down to. Well, that's the end of this video. If you liked it, please like it and subscribe. If you've got any comments, leave them down below, and see you soon.